Hello, we've gone live. Thank you so much, Eric. Yes, I had a really lovely break. It was just good to have a change.
It was just good to have a change.
I'm
just good to have a
hearing
change.
myself.
It was just good to have a change.
Whoops. Can you hear that? I've just got rid of it. I think that was endless mirrors between another browser. My word. That was slightly strange, slightly out of body experience there. But yes, I had a really lovely break. Thank you. It was just good to have a change, whatever that is. Hello, Amy. Thanks for joining. This is going to be a classic, the absolute classic fold to make an origami crane. Last week, I wanted to bring along some good luck, and we folded a clover. And that's obviously a symbol of luck for us here. And the crane is the absolute classic wisher of good luck. And I think actually amongst countries, if a crane comes and visits a nest, it's seen as very good luck. And I think we also had that, don't we, as a symbol of, hello, Stephen, of babies as well, bringing that bundle of joy and new life. So I think cranes are absolutely loved and so beautiful. And this is obviously one of the oldest pieces of traditional origami, and there is something very magical about it. I'm sure most of you will have probably done this before, but these sessions are always for people to discover this beautiful art of origami. So for many people, this will be a new experience. And I think the beauty of origami as well is when you're doing something that you've maybe done before, crane probably quite a lot if you've done origami, it's still just so lovely and it becomes more and more soothing. And the crane particularly, I'm sure many of you will have heard about the 1,000 crane legend. From what I understand, there's a belief that cranes live a long time, so ideally 1,000 years. And so if you could make, hello Penny, if you could make a crane for each of those years, the one belief is it will bring you, if you can make 1,000 of them, it will bring you a wish, a single wish, and it's often for getting somebody better. I've seen them in Japan and lots of them strung up outside the temples, and I think it's often to wish somebody well. So it's about wishing good health. The other belief is that it just generally brings you good luck and happiness. So if one person can make 1,000 cranes, I was very slowly trying to make 1,000 cranes because you can get some beautiful boxes of papers, and I was trying to slowly make them and just giving them away to people. So I've got some nice, lovely Korean papers. This is all through the British Origami Society, their shop. So they're really nice little rainbow colours. I just had a go at trying to do some smaller ones. The classic thing is trying to make little tiny birds and see how small you can get. There we go, it looks quite big now. I can get it close to you. And there are ones you can do that interlocked, string them up. If you are to make 1,000, then they probably have to be quite small, or else you'd fill up the place with them. I just had to go with silver foil too. I really like the effect of foil actually. It's quite kind of fragile and crumply, but in a strange way, it had quite a life to it. I rather like that. It sort of keeps shape, but it's sort of fragile foil compared to paper. You can get foil paper, I realise as well. So I'm also, as always, I'm just chatting for a few minutes as well while people arrive, and encouraging everybody to take some time out every week for your well-being. It may be that you're isolating, or you're by yourself, or maybe you're working, and it's a way of de-stressing. I work in UCH, a hospital, so all of these sessions are dedicated. My thoughts are with my colleagues who are working there in the hospital, and I try and encourage staff to really take some time out. So these sessions hopefully are there to support and encourage my colleagues, but they're for everybody. And it's just lovely in a strange way that everything's mixed up, that we're all able to come together. And this is actually just such a lovely, safe space that things are possible. And I think origami gives you time to just completely focus and actually to feel together. I think physically feel together, because when you're making something, we're all doing it together. I think we're there. You can, oh, that's a good idea, Eric. So using a few different layers of the foil. Did that make sense? Yeah, I rather enjoyed it. It's quite fun making things out of different materials, isn't it? You then realise how brilliant paper is. It's just the perfect material. At the moment, I've been having fun with more of these lovely Korean papers. Aren't these lovely? Making three-dimensional, lots of circle things. This is something I've been really enjoying. We'll get going in just a second. Isn't that fun? Obviously, blowing only something to do by yourself, but it's a lovely little wheel designed by an origamist in Colombia. Really nice. So, are you ready? Have you got some papers? If you do origami, you may already have some square paper, but each time I try and show you from just normal A4 paper because I want people to realise any paper will do. And I've actually found it quite good, I think, for demonstrating actually. A4. If you don't already know about it, I think most of you probably do, but there's the British Origami Society. They have a convention every year, which is just so inspiring and so wonderful. And obviously this year it has to be virtual. So it's going to be on Sunday. If you're at all interested, if you at all want to do some more origami, then please have a look. British Origami Society on their website, and you'll see how to book yourself a ticket. It's only £5 or £10, depending whether you're a member or not. It's really nothing to have sessions with so many people. I'm incredibly honoured to be asked to teach. Everybody else is complete master because they're inventing things. I'm not. But I'm just passing on, as I was asked to by a patient to learn and to pass it on. I actually do many creative things, but as yet I haven't invented much on the origami. I am in pure admiration, celebration of this beautiful art form, and that people are kind enough to share their discoveries, which are mind-boggling, very mathematical, but very pleasing. And I think always give a feeling of discovery. I think that's like it feels as if you're it feels as if when you're doing something new, you're doing something new for yourself actually. So it really is such an experience, origami. Right, I will grab a piece of paper. Grab yourself a piece of paper. I think we should get started. Thank you for your patience. So I'm sure you know what you're doing, but this is everybody. So I'm going to show you how to make a square, which you may have, but it'd be quite fun to do this out of a giant piece of paper. Either giant or very tiny. So many things you can do. Probably the very small is the biggest challenge, isn't it? There we go. So we're going to get rid of this rectangle. And it's quite good for demonstrating, I think, using this bigger size. So I'm going to be showing on Sunday a Tomoko Fuse modular piece, which actually I've shared through one of my films before. But hello, Deborah. Thanks for coming along. We're only just getting started, so that's perfect timing. So all I'm doing is making a square. And so this is Wellbeing Wednesday, and this is a thing. So it's perfect timing, isn't it, doing it on a Wednesday? I just thought it's the middle of the week. We could all do with a little bit of cheering up. So I try and always keep things. I've actually adapted how to do things, so it's on screen. Penny, excellent. Oh, somebody else coming. Fantastic. So I've done a diagonal that side. Do the other diagonal. So I have adapted a little bit because of demonstrating on camera that anything three-dimensional is harder to show. So there are many ways to get to the same endpoint, which is fascinating. So if you've learnt to do a crane, you may have learnt to do it in a different way. So we've done those diagonals, and then turn it over, and we're going to do a horizontal and the vertical. That's it. It's a real soother, this. I remember someone who I had a session with in the hospital described rather beautifully that she'd learnt to do the origami crane, so the other horizontal there, and she found it really soothing. So she said actually she was scared of flying, and so when she was flying it was just too anxious for her. She picked up a sick bag and started tearing it up into little squares, and she was folding cranes from the sick bag, and she said it really helped her. I thought that was a great story. So you've got your piece of paper here. You should just be able to push all those bits together and it makes a square like so. I hope that worked for you. So you've got a square now with loose ends here. Again, just shout out if you need me to explain anything. Loose ends there. What I want you to do is to fold from the bottom, and I'm going to bring it to the side. So the top leaf here, I'm going to fold into the middle like so. feel as if I'm just getting back into the flow of everything again, but it really did help her taking a break. It's so funny, isn't it, that we, you know, it's hard to take. Holidays are valuable. Wasn't particularly a holiday, but it tried to be. Anyway, again, folding from the bottom into a straight line. I think I was chatting more than showing there. I hope that was okay. So that loose end at the bottom, you're taking the top sheet and you're folding it in a straight line to meet like so. That's it. And then if you turn it to the back, and then the same thing again. So taking the side and keeping it in a nice straight line. This is quite big for a crane. People usually do cranes quite small. So I've got a request next week. Somebody asked me if I could make a frog, and there's a couple of frogs I can show you for next week. Of course, it needs to be jumping. And I thought it was quite a nice link with a crane, because the jumping frog is a traditional one from what I understand. And of course, that's what cranes like to eat. So we can make some nice food for the cranes, maybe. And again, folding it up into the middle. And do say if you need me to slow down or explain anything. So hopefully it looks like this. Just think we're all doing this together. So this top triangle, if you just fold down like so. And all we're doing really is giving that nice little crease up there. Very nice, neat shape. Okay, so if you open it up, and I always like to think of almost opening a present when it's opening things up again. That nice little feeling of bringing back the layers. So bring up the top layer, and this very top layer, if you bring it back like so, and you will find this end. What we're going to try to do is sort of flatten it. Again, for some of you this will be familiar and some of you may not be, so I'll try to explain. So the bottom you should be able to just easily start to close, but for the rest of it you may need to kind of work it round. So you've got these lines here that are going this direction. You need to get them going the other way so that they're folding inwards. Like so. Can you see? And then we'll flatten it down. Again, my recommendation is take your time. That's what makes it soothing. Actually, if you're doing this a small one, like the small little papers that are used for doing many, many birds, it actually fits almost better. You'll find it just sits in your fingers really easily, whereas actually big in some ways is harder. So there we go. So we're going to do the back now. So turning around to the back, again, opening up these layers. I sort of recommend almost holding that triangle there, because what you're going to do is take this top layer and pull it back. And again, you want to firm. Sharp creases help. Good point. Yes. And again, a little bit of persistence, but you're effectively having to reverse these lines. You've got and you're trying to make it all back into a nice, sharp, pointy triangle at the top there. Lovely term. Thank you for joining us, David. I'm very much looking forward to Sunday. Very exciting. Paula. Oh, good. I'm glad. It's always hard to know what speed to go because I demonstration, but it's a little bit of time together, and I just want you to relax and enjoy it. So one of these will be the wings. You can feel that these are wings. They will become wings. If you put the wings up, and you've got one end which is kind of leggy end. I always think of this as the legs. Just move these legs a bit. So we're going to sort of tighten it up. You may have done the flapping bird, which would be a little bit different at this point, but we're going to tighten it up. So this side, we're going to fold into the middle line. So we're going to take the side. And I think that's the joy with origami. I'm sure lots of you will have done this before. For some of you it's new, for some of you it's very familiar. But there's always delight in understanding it each time, and possibly it might be doing it a bit differently to how you do it. I don't know. I bet there's many different ways of producing the same folding lines. As I said, I've adapted doing the bases just because I found it easier to show you online the way that I'm doing it. And again, the other side, so fold into the middle. A bit easier if you do it on a surface. I'm attempting to do it in the air. New skills learnt during lockdown. Floating origami. Yay. Excellent. That's it. So it should look like that. Now if we go to the back, and we'll do the same thing again, the side, take it into the middle. It would be nice, wouldn't it, to get 1,000 people all folding together at the same time, and then you instantly produce your 1,000 birds. Wouldn't that be a great thing to do? I always think if you were to fold 1,000 yourself, then you've really earned your good luck. Has anybody here folded 1,000 birds? For some reason, I just haven't quite fully wanted to, really. I've been slowly making them, giving them away, but I've not myself. I've heard a Japanese friend described how people would either really like them or really not like them, because if somebody gave you 1,000 birds, you couldn't ever really tuck it out, but it takes up a huge amount of space and gets quite dusty. So there we go. So hopefully it looks like this. Lovely. Collecting, I don't know. Probably a wonder of folders or something. I don't know. Yes. I reckon a wonder would be quite a good way of saying it, wouldn't it? So we're going to take the side and we want to bring it up. So what I recommend is you've got it this side, turn it to the side, open this up, and then bring this up. Sort of to the point where it would naturally be. And then the tricky bit for explaining something if it's first time is then pushing it in, so it's sort of folding in on itself. I don't know whether that's a reasonable way to describe it. I mean, in some ways the origami crane, the traditional crane, is not the easiest thing to start with. It's not an easy one at all, but that's what makes it special. Have I done it all the way up there? Just checking. Yes. Right, so you could make it a parrot at this point, but I think we're going to make a crane. So again, this side, if we turn it to the side, open it up, and then again bring it up to the top. I hope you're enjoying doing a slow crane, or I hope it's working for you. As I said, I think next week will be frogs, which will give them a little bit of food. I think they like frogs. There we go. It's a beautiful sight when you see a crane's nest. They're such beautiful, beautiful birds. So I usually find, as I feel as if I'm seeing here, that one end presents itself as a head. Somehow one end looks more head-like. So to make the head, it will vary, and I think that's the beautiful thing about origami animals particularly, is they have a lot of variation, and I think it's that uniqueness that make them a little bit more expressive maybe. So for the head, folding it down and then squeezing it again in on itself. If I've got that right, do correct me, any origamists, if you. It's really hard to show that one. I think my head's quite a big one. No comments, anybody? There we go. So I think that's its head. You might, it's up to you. Sometimes you can keep them up quite vertical as this tail and head is, or you could take them a little bit out if you wanted to. The next thing I really enjoy, again, I don't think people always do this. You could keep it up. Oh, I've realised that bit's a bit lower. The things that happen when you're looking in a camera rather than looking at what you're doing. There we go. That matches a bit more. Is to bring the wings down. And this is a moment I just really love, taking the wings down, and then you could carefully, slightly pull out, and it should inflate the body a bit. Can you see? I rather like that. Let's hope it doesn't all break at this moment. Can you see? So the body's got a bit wider, and it sort of keeps its shape a little bit more. So hopefully you've made a crane. And I'd love to see your cranes that you make, or I don't know, put them in interesting places, or make tiny ones or huge ones, or string them up. I remember, I think maybe it's through the British Origami Society, people were doing them different colours, like a rainbow, and then stringing them up and putting it on windows. What a lovely idea. Let's keep the rainbows going. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It's just been 20 minutes, isn't it? 10 of which I chatted. Although it's funny, I don't think it's the easiest to fold, but it's lovely and it's such a recognizable image. It's quite hard to sort of capture and photograph because there's so many different angles to a light bulb. And so, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, what different things can you do with a crane? That would be good. Or you could decorate them. Don't know. I'd love to see what you do with the crane. And so I will be back next week, I think, with a couple of different frogs. Get them jumping, and yeah, I'm a little bit trying to take a bit of spontaneity with folds, so it can just be geared to whatever is going on at the time that feels right. So I think this was long overdue. The traditional crane, it had to be there. Oh, brilliant! You haven't done one in a while. Yeah, it's funny. It's not something that I do quite so much, but everybody, oh, embossed feathers on foil wings. Oh, that's a nice idea. That's a really lovely idea. Excellent. Really looking forward to Sunday as well. And yeah, I hope it success. Good, Paula. Excellent. Well done, Amy. You've done so many things too. It's lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for coming together, being in a lovely moment of folding together. Maybe one day we'll get to 1,000. Who knows? We can but wish. We know what wonderful things origami can do, and if we can use it to lift our mood, then hopefully we can help lift others as well. Look after yourselves, everyone. Have a good week, and I will be back next Wednesday at 2. Take care, and love to see what you've made. Bye-bye.